Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So the main update that we have here is that we have the full San Diego Comic-Con schedule. And so straight away I want to say that this is not looking like it's going to be the big Avatar Studios or Netflix live action reveal. There are some Avatar things on the schedule, but it looks for the most part like a relatively standard SDCC, similar to previous years, just with more of an aim, I think, to keep Avatar in the spotlight a bit. There's definitely still potential for stuff to happen, as we'll go into, but expectations are obviously way down now that we know the full situation. So this has been revealed over the last couple of days. I waited here until the full Sunday schedule was out to do the video. So the first thing we got was a bunch of websites reported on basically Nickelodeon and what they were planning. And so a lot of their stuff together was covered in a lot of articles that sort of came out here. And obviously it mentions, Aang, it mentions Avatar The Last Airbender and so on. They've got a big booth. They've got some of their new shows that are coming out, the new Transformers show and stuff like that. But as you can see here, Avatar Braving the Elements live. Very, very exciting. Not really. So you can see here, they do this, but the main thing we're here for is Avatar. So Braving the Elements live, there's going to be a Friday panel, July 22nd, 3:30 to 4:30. Very generic description as well. Official companion podcast, it's back for season 2. Janet Varney, Dante Basco. It does say there will be special guests. One of a kind panel. I don't think so, because I suspect this will be very similar to last time out. And here's the thing. If there was going to be any news at this panel, I think they probably would announce Mike and Brian. And I think the fact that Mike and Brian aren't here shows us that I don't think there'll be any news. So they're going to get what guests they can for this. And similar to last year, I think they'll just try and do what they can. Obviously, keep an eye out and just see what's happening here. But I would not be expecting anything from this. Like, Braving the Elements has not shown that it is going to be this thing that delivers news to us, at least right now. Maybe when big news actually starts to come out, they'll cover it. They'll have access to the people who can actually give proper interviews. But right now, they're very much in the same position as any fan for the most part. So we'll see who they announce as guests, but I think the fact that there aren't any already announced guests shows you what the full situation really is. There's a customized t-shirt station that's going to be there, and it mentions, oh, you can get stuff for all these things, including Legend of Korra. There's going to be autograph signings with the Braving the Elements hosts and so on. But that's really about it. I think it mentions somewhere in here that there's going to be like exclusive merchandise or something like that. Where does it say that? Yeah, Avatar The Last Airbender themed retail area featuring a custom t-shirt station and a one-of-a-kind exclusive collectibles. So they haven't announced those as far as I'm aware yet, what these collectibles actually are. But if you are attending, I suppose there's going to be some merchandise there. Maybe that will lead to something bigger, but who knows. That's what they said initially. I think that was the day the Friday schedule went up. And as you can see here, this is in fact one of the panels. So Braving the Elements live, same description as before, no other details. But then the Saturday went up, and this is somewhat interesting. So we've seen this description before: water, earth, fire, air, continuing the Avatar legacy. So it's going to be Saturday, July 23rd, 12:30 to 1:30. And interestingly here, Abrams Books, Dark Horse Comics, and Magpie Games are thrilled to treat fans to a panel worthy of the Avatar. FCE, Brendan Conway, who's the co-owner of Magpie Games, and Janet Varney, as well as moderator Cara O'Neill, who works for Dark Horse, explore the past, present, and future of the beloved world. Now, we've had these panels in the past, including times since the novels have been out. The one interesting thing here is that we will be here days after The Dawn of Yang Chen has released. So July 19th is the official release date. I assume they'll have the book there. FCE does have a signing. That's one of the other things that is happening here. I think it's also on the Saturday as well. He will have a signing for The Dawn of Yang Chen. So they're obviously going to be selling the book at the convention. That's probably going to be one of the main things that they talk about here. The Magpie Games being there, I guess, makes sense because the RPG is, out to backers. There might be some sense of like maybe this is where they announce, how people can actually buy it if they didn't take part in the Kickstarter. Going in, I would hope and expect that they will have posted an update about the physical items. It would be a little bit bad if we went into this still not having a estimate on when the physical stuff is going to kind of ship out and stuff like that, what the situation is there. Dark Horse, though, are in a pretty bad situation where, what books came out this year? It's like, okay, all the reprint books, which I don't think they can talk about for too long. There was the Free Comic Book Day book, but that was obviously a mess, like, in its own way. They do have other books on the way out, but everyone just knows Patterns in Time as the book that keeps on getting delayed. And if they do say something about it, I wonder will they even get the date right when they talk about it here. Then there's the Chibi comic. And beyond that, it's like, are they really going to make a big fuss about, the Turf Wars Omnibus Edition? This feels like, you probably have to say something about Beasts of the Four Nations. I assume, like, it's a few days as well before the Book 4 art book reprint comes out. So they might mention that. But there is a slight sense of this. Like, if there is news to come from this, it would be nice if they gave us a tease about, like, okay, how is Avatar Studios impacting publishing? In terms of, like, Chronicles of the Avatar, will there be announcement about the next Yang Chen book? Can he say anything like that? Will there be teases about what's to come in that series? Will there be a tease about the other books that Magpie Games are going to be doing, the Republic City and the Spirit World one? And then Dark Horse, of course, have like everything to tease because they have so little on the schedule upcoming. I don't expect there to really be anything particularly significant here. It has been a long couple of years since they announced anything new at a panel like this. So I do have a feeling that both panels will ultimately end up being forgettable. Like I said, there's always a chance something happens, but ultimately this does not look like the year anything is happening. There's no Avatar Studios thing on the schedule from what I could see. I searched the schedule by Avatar, and so if anything Avatar Studios related was to come up, that's the way it would have happened. So I'm not sure what the deal is. It is early, and I think that was always going to be the thing with this, is that it was probably too early to make any real announcement, and then the small information that they could have given us, they probably couldn't have filled a whole panel just on the basis of like a very, very basic announcement. It is confusing though that we now are going like potentially 2.5 years, give or take, when they finally get around to revealing something without a proper update on Avatar Studios. That, yes, we've relatively recently got some news, and again, I'm talking here about official news, not the sort of leaked insider information that we have. So officially, the big news that went around was that 3 movies are confirmed. Lara Montgomery confirmed as the director of the first movie. The whole Kiyoshi Zuko Korra thing is insider information that is not completely 100% confirmed, in that they're not ready to announce or confirm that yet, it seems. But I think the big thing coming out of that and that event was finding out that they showed the press a piece of concept art for that first movie. And that to me made me feel like, oh, well, if they're willing to show the press something, maybe in a few weeks' time, which it has been, and it will be by the time Comic-Con happens, maybe they'll show us that. And, maybe there's something there. Maybe the Braving the Elements podcast can show us that piece of concept art if that's the only thing that they have. But I don't think they will. So what's the situation there? I don't like that we're going through another Comic-Con post the announcement of Avatar Studios, still unable to tell a more casual fan anything of like proper substance about Avatar Studios. I hate that Avatar Studios is just a logo and then a bunch of really scattered, you know, information that amounts to very little overall. And so it's in a way weird that there is a lot of Avatar stuff at Comic-Con. Like there's 2 panels, there's like 2 signings, they're going to have a whole merch section, but it's based off like the original shows and stuff like that. So there's just that weird sense of like, you want to keep this in the spotlight, but you have nothing new really to show for it. Because even the publishing panel here, even though they're going to have a really hyped new book out, what percentage of the people in that room are actually going to have maybe read the book by the time this panel happens? Again, the book will only be out like 4 days by the time that we come around to the panel. Who's going to have read that? Who's going to have read like the other books as well? We know there's a very small percentage of the fan base that has, and while you would assume the people who are attending a convention and would attend an Avatar panel will be more likely to have, there's still no chance they're going to talk spoilers about a newly released book at this thing. So we've already had, I think, FCE at a Comic-Con before, and he didn't really say anything too significant about the Kyoshi novels. So that's why I would be hoping that he maybe says something about Chronicles of the Avatar full stop, more so than anything. So yeah, really frustrating situation that we find ourselves in, because okay, if they're not doing it here, I'd be surprised if they did it at New York Comic-Con in just a few months' time, but maybe they will. If not then I'm assuming they will have to mention Avatar Studios at the Investors event next year in February. And then I think for sure, Comic-Con 2023, so this event next year, probably has to be the big Avatar Studios announcement panel where they finally, you know, confirm everything and give us information. That kind of has to be the way that things actually go if, as rumored, 2024 is the release for the first movie. So I don't know, it's just awkward as well, because Mike and Brian did that big podcast interview where it felt like they were very open, more open than they have been about Avatar Studios, and then we go like the following week into Comic-Con and Avatar Studios is nowhere to be found. At least it seems that way. That feels weird. And again, where's the build? Where's the hype? What are they doing? What's the plan? Are they trying to make people forget, constantly like forget and then remember Avatar Studios? I don't really understand that at all. Is there a plan in place to get us to this stuff if it's going to take this long? And it doesn't seem like there is. So we'll move away from that. The only other piece of news is this: loyal subjects have finally gotten around to talking about Wave 2, which we've known about for ages. Like we've known that these are the characters that are planned for ages. There's been scattered pictures, I think, of these along the months, but here's the first, I suppose, proper reveal of their Sokka, Toph, and Jet. The Sokka, I think, looks nice because it is Book 2 Sokka, so that's kind of nice. Everyone tends to go for Book 1 Sokka. This is Book 2. Looks pretty good. The Toph, I think, overall looks solid, but I think a lot of the toy companies are having a bit of a challenge doing Toph's face properly, with the way her hair covers her face, and that being a lot of where the characterization comes from. Otherwise, I think it looks okay. And then Jet, obviously, like not many places have done a Jet. The original toy line had a Jet, but here's our first one in the sort of new era. You know, looks good. He's very suited to be an action figure. But I definitely am just feeling a little bit of fatigue with all the merchandise and how we're still stuck in like very early Avatar, and certain characters still have never gotten like an action figure before. Key characters much more important than a Jet still don't have action figures, like no Book 3 Katara action figure, no Mei, no Ty Lee, and we're getting there, I suppose, but it's just that sense of like, I don't think we've got the perfect action figure line yet. Those subjects are fine, but the QC does seem to be a little bit of a problem. I think that's everything I want to say in this video. It's basically just the Comic-Con news, and that's really it. Other than that, I'm just continuing to go through my Dawn of Yang Chen chapter analysis videos, which I'm hoping that like by the time the book officially releases, I'll be at least halfway through that, and we can just continue on with that. But yeah, I'll cover Comic-Con stuff when we get there, and we'll see if anything happens, if there's any additions to the announcements as we go on. But right now, it looks like not this year for Avatar. And then I forgot to mention in all of this as well, it doesn't seem like anything from Netflix directly confirmed for live action Avatar here either. And I think even Avatar News was sort of mentioning that like everyone is just sort of waiting for news. Like even I think a lot of the people involved in the show are waiting to see when the first like reveals are for it. So who knows what's really going on there, who has the exclusive on that and so on. But in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on what they're doing at Comic-Con this year, if you have any thoughts on these action figures as well. But other than that, that has been it. Thanks for watching, and bye.